Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. We in the building. We back in the building. Back in the building. Let me get that one off about the trivia, since trivia was last night. Give me 1 second to get that one off, and then we'll get started. And while I'm getting that off, I can go ahead and tell you this story. I had a comment, and Mr. Ray, if you listen to this, I'm gonna talk about you for a second. Mr. Ray came in and he commented and he said, between the 5-minute countdown and between my mic checks, he wished I would just go ahead and get started and talk about, the breakdowns and whatnot. He said he loved the breakdowns, but between the 5-minute countdown and the mic checks, he wished I would just go ahead and get started. And sometimes he just leaves. But I never see Mr. Ray in here when it's live. So I think Mr. Ray don't realize that you could fast forward all this when you watching the replay. You don't have to sit through the countdown and when you're watching the replay. Just fast forward. Whether you're watching it on the TV, whether you're watching it on the phone, whether you're watching it on your laptop or however you're watching it. If you're not watching it live, just skim through the countdown and go on about your day. It ain't I don't want to start it as soon as I get on here live, because if I don't want to talk to two people got to get the notification and they got to come in here and get their stuff situated. So that's why I have the little countdown and make sure my vocals are good and all that good stuff. So, I don't want you to go nowhere, Mr. Ray, but just know if you're watching the replay, just skim through it. You can fast forward through the countdown. You can fast forward through the mic checks and then get right on into the nitty gritty and the nuts and bolts of whatever's going on. So I want you to stay, but if you gotta leave, I understand. I hate that it gotta be that, but just know it is what it is, Mr. Ray. But I appreciate you. So let's shout out to Know the Gang. Know the Gang. Ozzy 101, Jeremiah W, Malik P Brownie, Bazel, Ronix, C Iron, Late Know the Gang. What up, Nerone? What up, Hendo? Bazel, Naughty Boy, Matt D, Marcus. I appreciate it. Marcus, you dealing with them Dead Skins fans, man. Don't worry about them folks, man. Let them have their Super Bowl. But I'm kind of glad they won, so we can stop talking about this crap. What up, Killer Cam? What up? Yolanda, appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate you. Tony. Who else we got? Chris Earl, I appreciate it. Zeke, Melvin. Now let's kind of go through our EDDs. And we can run it. So we're gonna talk about our Patreon for a minute. And if y'all saw me hit the button mistakenly before we what up, Aaron? Before we got on, you'll see what's up there. Talk about our Patreon. So I made a little display so we can kind of see it as I talk about it. We got our Patreon. We got 4 tiers. We got a $5 tier, and that $5 tier, for the most part, that gets you into the Discord. That also gets you an opportunity to get into the Fantasy Football League. We got 4 slots left in the second Fantasy Football League. When we fill those 4 slots, we'll pick a draft date. If we don't fill those 4 spots by, what's today? Today's the 22nd. If we don't fill those 4 spots by the 4th, I'm gonna let some of the guys from the first league in, and we can go ahead and get a draft because we want to have it full by the time that first game pops off. What day is that? Whatever day is that, because we want to have it a week before that first game. So a week, if it's not filled a week before that first game, I'm gonna let some of the guys from the first one in, and we're gonna fill it. But back to the Patreon, we got 4 tiers. We got the Game Manager tier, we got the Gunslinger tier. You join that Gunslinger tier, and you can get your Sip to Tally chalice, the Purple Kool-Aid chalice. We got the Sip to Tally Wall of Fame, and that's a $20 a month. And we got a Sip to Tally family member. We have 1 family member so far, and that's Brandon Bazel, so a salute to him. I think we have 2 Wall of Fame members, so if you want to support the channel, those are the different tiers we have on the Patreon, and the different tiers to get you different levels of access and whatnot. But the basic access, you get to the Discord, you get a chance to be in the fantasy football, and then I'm wearing the chain for one of the leagues right now. So when you bring me back up, I got the chain on right here. So this is the prize for one of the fantasy football leagues. So got that done. All right, let's talk a little bit about our tally points. And if you want to do it, if you want to hit exclamation point points, you can see the points. Now I want to kind of explain what's going on with the points. I'm giving away a prize at the end of each month, and you get points for different things. And I want to kind of show you. Let me lean so I can see. All right, I'm gonna put this on the screen, kind of show you kind of how you get points. All right, the tally point summary. So you see it on your screen. You get 10 points just for being here. 10 points per minute just for being here. You also get points for chatting. Now, I haven't figured out how they work the points for chatting. That's why you don't see it on there. I know you get points for commenting and whatnot, but I ain't figured out how they giving out the points for that. So that's why I hadn't put that on there. But for new subs, you get 100 points. You get 100 points per dollar per donation. And I got to put the link in the what's called. So I got to do that. I got to go back and do that. I keep forgetting to do that, but I'm going to do it right now. Let me do that. That's on me. That's on me. Where my chat box at? Bam, bam, bam. Paste. Bam. Pin. All right. You get 100 points per dollar if you do a donation. You get 75 points per dollar if you do a super chat. And the reason there's a difference in points because if you do a super chat, YouTube is the middleman. But I don't mind whichever one you do. However you want to do it, whichever one is the easiest for you. I ain't tripping. 1,000 points if you buy merch. If you buy merch from the store and you kind of screenshot the receipt and send it to me in DMs, I give you 1,000 points. If you buy merch from me directly, which I don't right now, the only thing I have directly is the FTMF shirt, and I'll show you that design in a minute. And you get 1,000 points from me directly. If you call into the show, you get 250 points. So that's how you get points. And then on game days only, if you get one of the trivia questions, you get 500 points. We have trivia questions at the end of the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. So that's the summary of the tally points, and whoever has the most at the end of this month will get a prize. And then we're gonna keep working it like that. And we're gonna do a little something. Let me see how I want to say this. Because me and the EP, not the EP, the VP, the EP, whatever her title is, she got many different hats in this thing. We had a conversation. We got to continue our conversation. So we'll talk about that another day. But to see your points, exclamation point points, and that's the summary of the tally points right there. So just so you know where your points going and whatnot. Now, when you donate, when you do the donation, make sure. Well, I would ask you to use the same name as your name in the chat box. Hey, Tundra. Use the same name as your name in the chat box. That makes it easier for me to go in and put your points in. Now, when you super chat, they automatically do it. It automatically knows who you are and it adds it to it. But when you donate, I have to go back in there and do it. So I'm asking you to use the same name that you have. Now, like when Hendo does it, and Hendo always does something that's similar to his name, I know who it is. Like last night, Brodney did it, and he used his real name, and I know what his YouTube name is, so I went back and did it. But for those of you that I don't necessarily have your name, use your screen name so I can add your points accordingly. All right? So I appreciate it. Back to me. Now, something that I had kind of faded away from a little bit, but I wanted to get back to it. Let me put it up here on the screen. Where is it? There it go. So, the Jane Doe comment of the day. And so I pulled one that it's been up here for a couple of days, and I've been meaning to get back to it, and I had kind of faded away from it. And it comes from Eric Plummer. And Eric says, make it a little bigger. There it is. He says, I love the insight, a trusted voice, and an obvious leader. It's cool having Ravens fans and voices around the country. I don't waste my time with TV because of what you and others represent on the World Wide Web. You and your crew have a way more entertaining and informative than any of others on the networks. So first of all, I want to say thank you, Eric, for saying that. And I think I commented that his words meant a lot or something of that nature. So I appreciate you, Eric, for saying that. And I'm going to get back to the Jane Doe coming up today. So what I'm going to do is starting today, I'll keep up with these, and we won't have one for August. So we'll have one at the end of September. And just like we did in the summer, at the end of September, we'll put all the names on the wheel, and we'll spin the wheel, and we'll have a Jane Doe coming of the month, and they'll have a prize package for the month of September. And that's how we'll do it, because I kind of got away from it. I should have been doing it all the month. It kind of slipped my mind. I apologize for that. So we're back on it. I'm starting to make notes because I ain't as young as I used to be, so I be forgetting stuff. So that's where we at. And the first one for this football season, Eric, your name will go on that wheel, and we'll start back to doing that. And so there won't be a question like it used to be. I'm taking comments from videos that I've done and putting them up there. So that's how we'll do it. So if comment from the video that we're about to do now, I'll pull for tomorrow, and vice versa, or comment from videos that I do later on, whether it be a video about the game or something from tonight or from yesterday's live stream or whatever. And I just pull stuff like that because like this comment was 3 days ago. So just keep commenting, and you might have a chance to be the Jane Doe comment of the day. So again, appreciate you, Eric Plummer, for your comment. It was very what's the word I'm looking for? I was happy to read it, and it kind of touched me to have, because I really had two comments similar. They were worded different, but they were very similar in taste that kind of hit me in a certain way. But appreciate you, Eric. Now, what we all came here for? Let's talk about this game. Let me get me back on the screen. Let's talk about this game. Let me get my notes up here too on the other side. Get my notes up. All right, get my notes on this side. Get me back up where I can see myself to make sure we straight. Make sure we scriznate. Validating. Good. There you go. Great word, Tony. Great word. Validating. Appreciate it.
Donation.
Coach you da goat.
Appreciate it, living legend. You said, Coach, you the GOAT. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Let's see. Let's talk about the game. So we'll kind of start with the offense, and we'll kind of go drive by drive, so to speak. And that first drive ended up, let me make this a little bigger with my eyes. I can't see. I can't see my own notes. There we go. I can see that, though. All right. The first drive was really the Zay Flowers drive. He had an 11-yard catch versus, what's my guy from Mississippi? Forbes. 11-yard catch versus Forbes, where Forbes played way off. Way off. And later on, he also had the touchdown that drive also, where they ran. Tylan Wallace ran a little go route, and both defenders with him. Zay had a delayed whip, caught the ball in the flats, made a couple guys miss, and got the touchdown. Second offensive drive. Did he play the second offensive drive? I can't remember. I'm trying to think. Second offensive drive, we saw Melvin Gordon come out, had a 4-yard run. Josh Johnson, Tariq Black for 5 yards. Melvin Gordon ran for no yards on 3rd and 1, that's what bothered me. It was 3rd and 1. Melvin Gordon was 1-on-1 with Forbes, and he tried to outrun Forbes instead of trying to run over Forbes. Forbes is as big as that. And it was a great tackle by Forbes, but why didn't Melvin Gordon just try to run this man over? But he didn't, so we went 3 and out and punted, and that befuddled me that he didn't just try to run that man over. Let's go to the third offensive possession. Melvin Gordon for 5 yards. Melvin Gordon for 2 yards. Josh Johnson to wide receiver 1, Pat Ricard. Got the first down. We all crack jokes about Pat Ricard, but he got the first down. Josh Johnson, had a run after that. Then my man started getting some touches. The Flash himself, and I ain't talking about Dwayne Wade. Keaton Mitchell for 6 yards. Josh Johnson scrambled. Charlie Koloff for 28. He had a seam ball up the middle. Now, we'll talk about Charlie Koloff for a minute. I was very, very disappointed in what I was seeing out of Kolar from the beginning. I was. He kind of redeemed himself today. Well, yesterday, rather. He kind of redeemed himself yesterday. But, hold on one second. I'm getting a little sip. Like that mug, the Ravens Roundup mug, in the store. Exclamation point store. You can get you one. Volacek showed up. That's what I was going to say. Volacek showed up. We'll talk about Volacek in a minute. But Kolar had 2 good catches. So after that 28-yard catch, then Demas had one for 11. Melvin Gordon for 2 yards. Then the saddest part of the game happened. My guy had a great release off the ball, beat his man by about 4 or 5 yards. Josh Johnson lobs the ball up in the air when he should have threw a more inline ball because he beat him so bad off the ball. The defender has a chance to recover. He doesn't even play the ball. He goes straight, pushes Prosay out of bounds, and intercepts the ball and returns it for about 50 yards. Now, 2 things happened on this play that were bad for the quarterback and the receiver. First of all, the ball should not have been lobbed. Prosay beat the man off the line of scrimmage so bad. So that's a plus for Prosay. The ball should have been thrown on the line, and he should have potentially had a touchdown, potentially. Bad thing for Prosay is you got to go up and snatch that ball. Now, whether you land in bounds or not, you can't control that. But you at least got to go up and snatch that ball and catch it. Whether you land in bounds or not, that's neither here nor there. But it can't be intercepted. It cannot be intercepted by no standard of the means or whatnot. So the interception is totally on Prosay. The bad ball is on the quarterback, but the interception is on Prosay. You at least got to knock the ball in the stands or something. You can't allow that ball to be intercepted at all. You had a great move. Yeah, the ball was late, but you cannot allow that ball to be intercepted. You can't just be pushed out of bounds and be like, oh well. So 2 terrible situations in a row. And I was attempting to fill out my 53 today, and I was working on it. And, that's a show for tomorrow and work on my 53. He's not on it. Yeah, I know how much I love Prosay, and there's no way I can finagle him being on that 53. There's no way I can. It's not on it. Period. That's my dog. But he's not on it. Sorry. But let's go to the next position. Kolar for another deep pass. So that's what? Last possession he had one for 28. This possession he had one for 23. And then, wide receiver 6 showed up. Tylan Wallace with another back shoulder throw for a touchdown. So Tylan Wallace, I think, solidified his position as wide receiver 6. And you'll see my 6 wide receivers tomorrow when I do my 53. Next position. Let's see where we at. I think we're at halftime now, going into the 3rd quarter. So Melvin Gordon for 12. So that was a good run. AB is at quarterback now, giving off to Melvin Gordon. So the second half is the Volacek show. That's the Volacek show. And I agree, Yolanda. I think he lost his confidence. I think he knows the writing's on the wall. And for one, he not getting balls to even show that he can play. And for 2, when he do get them, he don't do anything with them. So I think his confidence is shot, and he just kind of going through the motions right now. He's just going through the motions. What up, Chinwoo? He just going through the motions. Yeah, my pep talk failed, Brandon. My pep talk failed. What I think is Harbaugh heard me pep talking him and kind of cut my audio. I think that's what happened. Because I didn't say who's got it better than us. Harbaugh didn't hear that part, and he cut my audio and didn't allow my pep talk to get to Prosay. That's what it was. So, Harbaugh hater. That's all. Hater Harbaugh. HH. And not Triple H. Back to the game. Volacek for 3 yards. Let me see. Keaton Mitchell again. Burst on the edge for 31 yards. I really, really like Keaton Mitchell. Really, really like Keaton Mitchell. How are we going to keep Keaton Mitchell? How? 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 Even if we cut Melvin Gordon, how are we going to justify keeping a fourth running back? Because I think Justice Hill, I think J.K., I think Gus are locks. If Keaton Mitchell goes to that practice squad, he will not be a Baltimore Raven. Will not be a Baltimore Raven. If Keaton Mitchell goes to that practice squad, he would not be a Baltimore Raven. But back to the game. So right after Keaton Mitchell's long run, Prochet does catch a ball right over the middle on a little over the center route or whatever. Comes back, Belichick over the middle for his first touchdown. Come back next drive, we get Owen Wright for 3 runs in a row. Jordan Stout punt. So three and out, 3 runs in a row by Owen Wright. I guess they want to see what he could do before they cut him. Come back again, next situation. Then we get an interception. Do we? No, we get a fumble. We get it right back. Who caused that fumble? Malik Ham and Carson. And then who picked it up? There was the new guys. Well, it wasn't Tay. There was the new guys involved in it. I can't remember that now. I know Carson was one of them, and Malik Ham was one of them, but I can't remember who picked it up. But anyway, and so that next drive, it ran into the fourth quarter. More Owen White, more Pass Brown. But then Belichick gets his second touchdown. And when he caught it, he was like, 1, 2. Hey, so he putting that heat. Belichick is putting that heat on Kolar. He is putting that heat on Kolar. So I like Belichick. I do. But going into the next drive, you get more runs from Owen Wright. You get AB throwing a Belichick, which is incomplete. We go 3 and out punt there. So now Washington tries to make their little comeback because we got the bottom of the barrel in right now because we already didn't start starters. So we were starting with second string, and by now they just not got their second and third string in because they started with starters for the whole first half. Let me get to us. Still more runs from Owen Wright. Pass to Demas. Demas got hurt. Punt again. So like the second or third, 3 and out. 2-minute warning. They go down and kick the field goal, and we throw interception toward the end of the game. So defensively, I'm not going to go through the defense like this, but defensively, I'll talk about them real quick. The guys that were playing I would say the secondary, they played hard. And you would think that, hey, there was the second team secondary. Them guys got to play. The guys that you saw play in the secondary, them the guys that's going to play. Because Marlowe's hurt. Rocky Sin's hurt. Pepe's hurt. I think Jalen Armour-Davis is hurt. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat box. I think Jalen Armour-Davis hurt. So all those guys y'all saw out there, them cats got to play in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Except for, I'm talking about the cornerbacks. The cornerbacks. All right, going to the linebackers. The linebackers kind of came back to reality. I'm talking about, let me tell you the names. I want to make sure I get the names right. What's the 2 names I was talking about? John Ross came back to reality. And Delshon Phillips. They came back to reality. They played, Delshon Phillips played great in that first game. Came back to reality yesterday. John Ross came back to reality. So, then up front, Hendo's favorite player, Tavius Robinson. And I know he a rookie. I understand he a rookie. But if y'all know Bubba Dub, put what Bubba Dub would say in the chat box. If you know Bubba Dub, put what Bubba Dub would say in the chat box in reference to Tavius Robinson. And I ain't going to say it, but if you know Bubba Dub, put what he would say in reference to Tavius Robinson in the chat box. That's what he was last night and in the first game. Edge guys. Old Jabo. Yeah. I know this is technically his rookie year, but yeah. Thank you, Sedaris. Yeah. Ojabo. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Malik Ham kind of came through. Malik Ham did his thing. Jeremiah Moon just running around looking wild. A lot of them guys, they came back to earth. They came back to earth. Malik Ham kind of held his own still. I don't know if it's going to be enough room for him, though. But a lot of them guys, they showed why they were where they at. Why they were where they at. But again, for the most part, they did that versus first team guys. I'm not mad at all. They did that versus first team guys. The only first teamers that didn't play for the Commanders was their D-line. The only. So I'm cool with offensively we looked crisp. I didn't see receivers on top of each other. I saw space. So I'm cool with what we did offensively. Defensively, I'm concerned because because the DBs that were out there are the DBs that we're gonna have to play with the exception of Kyle and Marcus. Marcus has to go out there with what you saw last night. Marcus and Kyle has to go out there with what you saw last night because our main corners are hurt. Now I don't know about Jalen Armour Davis. I don't know if somebody put it in the. I was calling myself looking to see if somebody said if he was hurt or not. But yeah, we got to go out there with what you saw. So Kyle and Marcus, we're gonna pray for you, brothers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get off subject for a minute, and I know he's not in here because I hadn't seen him. DDSQ. I don't know. He may be sleeping, but keep him in y'all prayers. They was in labor yesterday. I don't know if that went well and whatnot, but just throw one up for DDSQ. They was supposed to have baby yesterday. I don't know how that went on, and he was in the he was at the watch party, and they were starting the process and whatnot. So yeah, if you're a praying person, throw one up for DDSQ for him and his family, and hopefully everything's all right and fine and whatnot. Just do that for me. I thought about that when I said pray. If you're a praying person, I ain't trying to tell you what to do. How you do your thing is how you do your thing. But I'm gonna throw one up for you, Q. But Marcus and Kyle got to go out there with them people, and hopefully they can hold it down until people start to come back. Now, when we all get healthy, it's gonna be heck to pay. But when we all get healthy, it's gonna be heck to pay. Let me switch over real quick. We got one caller up here. Let me do this. Coming to you.
The conference has been locked.
All right, Rave Kingdom, what's good with you, my boy?
What's going on?
Not much. What you got for me today?
I'm here to defend myself, but I'm also here to say I told you so as well, right?
All right, so defend yourself first.
Yeah, the defend yourself part is where I got mad at Crochet about the punt thing.
Mm-hmm.
The situation, the punt. Listen, I know what you said, and I wanted to let you know because I couldn't, we was texting in the chat, so can't say everything, but
right.
My whole point was, it wasn't about. I know you're supposed to let it go, considering the fact that it was kind of dangerous and the rules of punting, you talking
about last night? Gotcha.
Yeah, last night.
Okay.
The game. Hey, went over the head. I understood the rules. I specifically, what I saw was, I said, okay, that was his chance for me to do what you gave him advice to do. If I'm not mistaken,
to make a play.
You told him before the game started, find a way to stand out in some type of way, do something out of the normal. That's what you said.
I did. You're right.
And I thought, and I was on his head about that because you're obviously not doing nothing as a wide receiver. You already cost us an interception as a wide receiver. At least show them that you are worth something on something, which is the punt the punt return at least show something.
Yep.
Yes. Normally, are you supposed to let the ball go and the ball goes on a 2-yard line? But I'm looking at the distance of where the opponents are and where you're at. You should have took a few steps back, try to grab it and try to run it for extra 5-10 yards, at least keep us from the 10-2-yard line, just to show, even though it's a little bit risky, but at least just to show you're worth something. Something. You know
now I will say this in his defense: if the special teams coach, if the special teams coach rule is put your heels on the 5 and don't go backwards, if that's his rule, if he said that in meetings, or if that's on the wall, and he defies that, his chance goes from 10% making it to 0, because now he's defied and a direct order. So I still got to, he got to defend. I mean, because I know on teams that I've coached, we tell them put their heels on the 10-yard line. Do not take a step backwards. If the ball goes over your head, just run off the field. Which you saw when it, and I think his was on the 5. The ball went over his head. He just took off running to the sideline. Did he not? Because you can't, like Kill Cam just said, him being a hero, he can't be no hero.
He did his head around, but.
And then it'd be different. It'd be different if now. Hold on. Let me say this. If he had the jukes and stuff like Tyreek Hill or like a Kadarius Toney, maybe take that chance. But he is slow. He ain't got the juice like that. He not finna take that thing back 89. If he had the fast twitch, I can see maybe taking that chance and risking, because at that point, like you saying, what I got to lose? Some probably already cut.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But he ain't got that fast twitch like Tyreek Hill or like Dante Hall or like Devin Hester. He average dude.
But no. But what about all those workout videos he was showing us over off season?
Man, them regular run. I can run them routes and make it look good. You might see a little belly shaking, but
he looked like he was working.
Yeah, but we know he not fast. He not fast. But if he had the moves like Tyreek Hill or Dante Hall or Hester, if he was not like Baltimore's own, what's my guy from Baltimore that went to Dunbar? He got probably the greatest college highlight that I never seen. Tavon Austin. If he had Tavon Austin's skill set, I could see that. But he don't. Awesome. He just James Prochet. Or in your words, he just James Porsche.
Yep. Well, I want to get to the I told y'all so.
All right.
The I told y'all was I was harping in the chat about them using the starters and them being petty.
They sure. And you did.
A lot of you responded to me by, everybody uses the starters. I'm like in my head, I'm like, duh. I'm not saying don't use starters because I know people use starters to see what the stars are going to do in certain situations. What it's like to run with their offense. I know that, but that's not what I saw from the Commanders. For crying out loud, I'm watching this. Like, are you not watching these dudes go for it on 4th and 5 in the first quarter? Are you not watching this? This is pettiness. This has nothing. What they showed that day. They played the whole first half, coach.
Bro, that was a regular season game for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was yelling at y'all. I'm like, y'all, no, it's okay. They use the stars, Mahomes and Allen. I'm like, bro, this has nothing to do with starters. I am paying attention to pettiness. Mm-hmm. That lineman of the Commander said, "Don't worry, they're going to lose that streak tomorrow." And y'all, it's almost like the Ravens fans. I'm like, I don't know if y'all just didn't want to take that serious. Mm-hmm. I'm literally like, hold up. They're playing the whole starters. The starting quarterback is taking hits. He flew out the pocket, diving like his life depended on it.
Did you see the same dude that said that? Did you see him grittying when they scored the touchdown?
Yeah, he scored a touchdown. He started grittying.
Yep, that was the same cat.
Same cat. Do that ugly gritty.
Yeah. Now his gritty is not as bad as Giuseppe's, but it was ugly.
And I was so like furious by everybody going, dude. Everybody uses the starters. I'm like, man, wait. I'm like, sure. I bet you people are using those starters, but it's okay to use starters for certain situations, or help the starters learn the offense, or get some reps here and there. That's fine. That's totally fine. But to have your starters competing like it's a Super Bowl,
Right.
I mean, they threw us the towels. They threw their helmets off when they won that game. That was,
Hey, you know what this stand for? They tried to say this L stand for losers, but it really stand for lame. Cause they lame for what they did. That's what it stand for. That L stand for lame. That's exactly what it stand for. But like when you finish, Killer Cam just put it in the watch column. They won the game, but them losing Scary Terry gonna cost them a lot more than winning this game.
this is crazy. And my thing is, I'm like, and what I find so funny is, you beat us by 1 point with our third and fourth string out there.
We played two starters.
We
played two starters. We played two
you
starters,
played
Zay
two
Flowers
starters.
and John Simpson. Two starters.
Yeah, but those starters, we just wanted to let them do a few snaps. I think Flowers was out there for maybe a couple snaps and got up out of there.
Flowers played 2 drives. John Simpson played 31 plays.
Right. But Simpson's a different story. That's a different thing. He gotta get his reps.
Yeah.
But pretty much, we ain't using nobody out there, and you only beat us by 1 point. What do you think is gonna happen in the regular season?
Yeah, that's all right. That Cowboys gonna take care of them. The Giants probably gonna take care of them, and the Eagles definitely gonna take care of them. Because I was kind of indifferent about them, because I really didn't care or whatnot. But I'm rooting for whoever they play against every week now. I want them, what's 3 letters, first word start with a S, last word or that start with a B, to lose every game.
Yeah.
Every game now. And I wanted to root for the enemy because he the Bros and whatnot. But right now I want them to lose every game. Every.
I understand that.
I want them to be in the Caleb whatever the quarterback is for USC. I want them to be in that sweepstakes.
Caleb Williams, something like that.
Yeah, I want them to lose every game. So.
Yeah. And just to go by everything else real fast. Tyler Wallace is still showing that he wants that spot. It's amazing what Tyler Wallace is doing this preseason. What's his name? Ben Cleveland. Look good out there. Maybe some film might change and show something different, but he looked pretty good to me.
Yeah. Speaking of Ben Cleveland, we're doing that later on. So y'all be on the lookout for when I, pop up and have it live ready. We were probably about 2 hours. About 2 hours to set the thing up. Full film session on Ben Cleveland. He played the whole game. So y'all be on the lookout for that.
He looked good out there. Coach Porcher.
He out of there, man.
Start looking good.
He out of there. He can have 25 catches for 6 million yards this last game. He's still out of there.
Yeah, we can't try. We try to throw it to him. We're trying to make it go deep. We're trying to something. It just
out of there.
Something bad. Just something, man. And my last thing, number 39, Mayfield.
Hey, have you ever seen a good football player named Mayfield?
Man. And the thing is, he wasn't even playing all that bad until that play that just really irked me. Every other play that he did, I was like, okay, he's a body regardless. I would be too mad if you're just some random 7th string, 9th string. You're barely gonna make the roster. I don't get too mad at you. But man, did he piss me off with that? You let that guy shook you, and you was not paying attention, and then you're gonna do that hole, and now you cause them to get in field goal range. That piss me off, coach, so bad.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question for you and the chat box. Because I ain't seen nobody talk about it in the chat box yet, and you didn't mention them either. How y'all feel about Pat Queen's supposed replacement? How y'all feel about Pat Queen's supposed replacement, especially what happened to him on the sideline?
I said in the chat that people were trying to be a little bit too hard on him because the first start he was kind of slacking a little bit. We didn't know what he was doing out there, and then I felt like he started to warm up a little bit, especially when he made a tackle, and then he got that sack. I think he bull rushed that runner back up the middle and got that sack or whatever, or almost a sack. I forgot. Was it a sack or almost a sack?
Well, he started off. They were standing him up. He couldn't get through the middle. Like he was blitzing early in the game, and they were just stuffing him. Then he got dude put the joystick on him on the sideline, and then later on, and he got through and got I think he did get a sack.
Yeah, he got a bull rush with a sack, something like that, right?
But he looks eerily similar to a rookie Patrick Queen.
I think I'll be honest with you. I think people are making of it a little bit too harshly. That was his first game of the NFL, right? If we're being honest. And he is a rookie. He's wet behind his ears, so
breath smelling like Similac.
Yeah, so let's. I feel like let's give him another game or so, and I think he's gonna have an understanding of what he's doing, because I saw potential in ways. Because when I saw that bull rush to the sack he did, I was like, okay, he got something in him. And then also, when he got shook by that guy, I still kind of saw something, because he still had reaction to it, and he had speed to it. All he had to do was just connect and not be like Patrick Queen of the past. But he has something there, you know what I'm saying? And he's young, so that's good for the future. We definitely got to care about the young players. So I think he's going to be okay.
He's definitely somebody I'm gonna watch. He's definitely somebody I'm gonna watch this Saturday. Even though it won't be much to watch Saturday, because we probably gonna see like all iffy guys. Because we already not playing the starters, and we're probably not gonna play the role guys either. So we probably gonna see Jeremiah Moon and Malik Ham and all game. Them guys probably gonna play the whole game. Honestly, my dog may play the whole game, since it's probably gonna be his last games in the Ravens jersey.
He might,
so he might have 15 targets. Him and Treadwell and Bridges and Dante Demas, them boys might go for 300.
Yeah. I hope so. That's all I'm wishing for. One last thing before I go, I'm gonna speak on David Ojabo, because I think people are a little bit too concerned. I think David Ojabo needs to ask Clowney about some tips, because I think Clowney's like, not Clowney, I think Ojabo, he's like, hey, I learned these moves, so offensive lineman, I'm coming with this move. Rather than he's not supposed to let the offensive lineman know I'm just coming with that move, if that makes sense. For example, like J.J. Watt, Terrell Suggs, all those guys, Von Miller, all those edge rushers, they don't show the offensive lineman that they're about to make that move on you. They just gonna like go at you, but then before you know it, they already made that move on you, and they're going after the quarterback. I think David Ojabo, the way he attacks the offensive lineman, he kind of gives them this, hey, I'm about to bull rush you, and then I can see the offensive lineman like, okay, he's about to do some bull rush. Let me keep my feet grounded so I can block this guy. You get what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
I do. You're saying they need some counters. That's all you're saying. They need some counter moves. They doing the same move over and over, and the offensive line knows what's coming. But we supposed to have this rush guru That's what we're supposed to have.
Right.
Yeah, let me tell you who they need to go see. But I don't know if they can now because he work in the NFL. What's my guy? He's from New Orleans. BT. Is it BT Jordan? I had the pleasure of meeting BT Jordan at a coach's clinic before he like blew up. And at that time, it was just before he started working at Michigan State. And all the big time, rush guys go work with BT Jordan. And, right after I met him, because a friend of mine is from New Orleans and he coaches. So he introduced me to a bunch of New Orleans coaches, and they're a tight-knit group. And I had the pleasure kind of, having dinner and hanging out with him and whatnot. And so right after that, he got a job with Michigan State. And now he is the rush coach for the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. So that guy right there, look him up. BT Jordan, all the big time rush guys go get sessions in with BT Jordan. And so maybe that's, if I'm not mistaken, Oway had some sessions with BT Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. So that might be something to look up, but Ojabo definitely needs something. But again, to me, this is technically his rookie year. And I'm gonna leave it at that. This is technically his rookie year.
Yeah.
Those 6 snaps from last year, them 6 snaps from last year don't really count.
Right. Totally agree.
So I appreciate you, my boy. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing on up. And again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Hit that like button if you don't mind. Hit the like button if you don't mind. This is another episode of Ravens Daily. We'll be back here tomorrow where I'll be attempting to fill out my 53-man roster in front of you guys with a little help from you guys, maybe. And so that's what we're doing tomorrow. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern time for another episode of Ravens Daily with me, Coach Evans, on Sip the Tally Films. Thank you guys for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Like. If you're watching the recap, hit your comments. Because I respond, and enjoy your night. And I'll be back in about 2.5 hours with this O-line film. I appreciate you, show, for showing up. Appreciate y'all, man. So I'll see y'all soon. Put your notifications on so you won't miss this O-line film coming up. See y'all. Peace. My ending soon button there. There it is.